Greetings, Malifaux fans. This is Crazy Carl from the Weird Forums, back after a long absence with another Malifaux video battle report. Today I played 35 Soulstones against my good buddy Pat. I decided to bring out Avatar Summer because I haven't played him in a while, and I was really looking forward to getting some pigs out there, and Pat brought along Perdita. It was going to be a very, very tough-fought game, as you'll see with the schemes and strategies we had. Here's the overview of the board. A lot of hills, big forest, and some stuff that's a lot of line-of-sight blocking stuff, but stuff you can climb up on, so it's pretty good. You can see the deployment, and you see some markers out there. You won't see one because one of them's underneath my pickle pulp, but it shows that Pat had destroyed the evidence. So not too hard for his chosen crew, Perdita. I had Reconnoiter, however, which, while isn't bad for Summer, it's still not great because all of his models are going to be a lot better than mine, and they can just go around killing my Bio-Gremlins. So I had to kind of do a little target priority and take stuff out. But it was going to be interesting nevertheless. So I brought along Summer with his avatar attached, a taxidermist, a slop hauler, a hog whisperer, 3 Bio-Gremlins, a mosquito, a piglet, and the Pickapult, because I figured I could use the Pickapult to launch Bio-Gremlins and piglets to the different board corners, and it helped me get some extra movement. As it was, it ended up not doing very much. I think I might have... No, I never fired it. I never shot anything with it. And yeah, it was pretty much useless. Pat, however, brought along Perdita, a Watcher, Nino, Santiago, Francisco, a Guardian, a Witchling Stalker, and he had 4 Soulstones in his cache, whereas I had 3, so he had a little bit up on me. Strong crew. He had Destroy the Evidence, Stake a Claim, and Eye for an Eye, which was hidden. I had Reconnoiter, Bodyguard on Summer, and then Thwart, which was hidden, because I really love Thwart. I need to actually start taking some more different things with Summer, because I take Thwart a lot. So here you can see the first turn. I moved up my Pickapult just to kind of... I mean, I use it a lot as a movable piece of terrain, because it's a huge base, it's height 3, it's tough to kill, so you can just kind of stick it out there, and it's generally going to be fine. I spread out my mosquitoes, sorry, not my mosquitoes, my Bio-Gremlins, after making a few with Summer, and doing a little bit of healing to get his manifest requirement taken care of. Although I only healed once, so that was one of the 3 for his healing requirement, because he has to heal 3 times with Take a Swig on 3 separate activations, which was pretty good. Here you can see Perdita moved up. Pat had some pretty good sniping positions. He had Nino up on that hill there, as you can see. The big hill to the left there is where he had Francisco moving along with his Guardian. And Pat had moved up Perdita twice, and as opposed to moving up to the evidence marker, which he could have done, he tried to obey Nino, but just, I guess, didn't have the card. I guess he just kind of took a pot shot. It probably wasn't a bad idea for him to do that, because if he had, I could have next turn moved up my slop hauler and possibly hit it with slop spray and put her down to defense 4, and Perdita doesn't like being at defense 4. Here you can see the Witchling Stalker and Francisco had moved up. We played the hill as difficult terrain to climb up, which I think might have been a little bit harsh, because as it was, a little bit of a spoiler, Santiago, I think, fired once the entire game, and the Guardian didn't really do much either. They just kind of trudged all up the hill. It was not really very good for them. So here you can see Summer. I made a piglet, I think, during one turn, which is pretty cool, so I ended up with a second piglet. And that gave me gave me a corpse counter by killing off the Bio-Gremlin. I also had Summer activate. This is probably the second turn now. Summer recycled a Bio-Gremlin, so I was able to get an extra corpse counter. And the taxidermist actually made about 3 or 4 stuffed piglets over the course of the game, which was pretty cool. You can see that you were able to see there that the Pickapult moved up to get in the way of Perdita to keep her from walking up and just killing my entire line. There you can see Francisco, being a little bit faster than Santiago, was able to get a little bit closer to the action, whereas Santiago and the Guardian are just kind of stuck back there because they're just really, really slow. You can see some of the Bio-Gremlins I summoned. I actually only own 5 Bio-Gremlin models, so it makes it difficult to summon a ton of them, which is what I wanted to do for this game. So I actually had to kind of get a rig it a little bit by summoning piglets with Summer, or trying to. It's tough to get the cards sometimes, and then turning them significant with the root around action. But whatever, it's fine. I may pick up another blister at some point. You can see I'm spreading out my gremlins again. This time this is, I guess, turn 3 or 4. The Witchling Stalker moved up to the evidence marker, and I really wanted to try and take it out with my Bio-Gremlins, but that's not going to be easy to do. And as you can see, I took a couple shots at it, but it didn't die. I usually take my pictures at the end of the turn, so you can see that he didn't die. You can see the Death Star combo of Guardian plus Santiago. My plan for that was to just not deal with it, because without Ophelia, it's going to be really, really hard to deal with the Guardian, because Ophelia has that ability to ignore armor, and the rest of my crew doesn't, so I just kind of ignored them. There's Perdita there. This is after she's taken actually quite a beating. I used my taxidermist in one turn to make a pair of stuffed piglets, which, just being able to out-activate him, I was able to float the piglets over and detonate them both, One of them did a 4-inch pulse of 1 damage, which was not very impressive. The other one did a 1-inch pulse of 4 damage, so I ended up getting 4 damage through after the Soulstone prevention flip, which was pretty exciting for me. Here you can see my position reconsolidated. I used my piglets to move my slop hauler around, which was kind of cool, because I usually use Ophelia for that, to kind of get the slop hauler where you want him to be, and then do the healing flip with the feed piggies. But this game I didn't have Ophelia, so I used the piglets to kind of act as surrogates, and it actually worked out pretty well. I was pretty pleased with it. You can see turn, I think this is turn 4, and I moved the Picklepult to block off Perdita again. I had the Picklepult sitting on the evidence marker, which is pretty good, but I didn't want to depend on that. The Picklepult can die eventually. It's not like it's invincible, and as you'll see, eventually it did. And here you can see more guys moving up to the side of the board, just trying to spread out my models. I didn't think I was going to be able to take more than 2 table quarters. I knew I'd be able to get at least 1. That's not going to be hard to do. 2 is going to be doable. 3 is difficult. So I was trying to get 3, but I settled pretty much on getting 2, which meant I needed to get my schemes to be able to have a shot. During all of this, Perdita took out one of the evidence markers, and the Witchling Stalker took out the other one, and I believe that Perdita moved up either on turn 4 or turn 5, and took out the last evidence marker for him. So, I mean, there's nothing I can do to stop his destroy the evidence. If Perdita wants to do it, I can't stop it. There you can see the Stalkler has taken care of one of the Bayou Gremlins, leaving behind a corpse counter because my taxidermist is a grave robber. And the other Bayou Gremlins is running away. Francisco, moved up and still not really in range to do anything. I did get into a bit of a scrum where he was able to take a couple shots off, but didn't really do much. Turn 5, this is turn 5. I decided to manifest Summer because I needed to kill. I knew he was going to put a model into the forest, which was a stake a claim target, and I needed a model to kill it, so I was going to use Avatar Summer for that, and I was going to kind of try and chain over mosquitoes by sacrificing models to get them over there, but that was a little bit further in the future. You can see a spread of the board. Those 3 corpse counters are the Picklepult, which died to Nino. When I manifested Summer, I had a mosquito sitting over with Nino, just trying to distract him, which actually did. I actually got a turn of use out of it, and was able to keep him distracted pretty well. But I manifested Summer, discarding my entire hand, minus a card, and Pat was able to disengage from my mosquito pretty easily, and took out the Picklepult with a headshot, which made me very sad. He had the red Joker on his attack flip, and wasn't really much I could do about it. Although, ironically enough, Perdita had shot at it multiple times, and just wasn't able to kill it. I was flipping 13s and 12s for my defense, and he was flipping really low cards and just didn't have the cards to cheat. And I actually used my Hog Whisperer and Taxidermist to heal it up a couple times, so that worked out pretty well. There, so you can see some more shots of models around the board. Again, Santiago and the Guardian not doing a whole heck of a lot because they're stuck up on that hill. And here you can see the final spread. The game ended up being very close. I had 6 points and Pat had 5. Pat got 4 points, as was expected, for his Destroy the Evidence. No points for Stake a Claim because Summer moved in and killed off the Witchling Stalker he left in the forest because he forgot I hadn't reactivated him yet. And he got 1 point for an eye because we were close enough in significant models. I got 2 points for my Reconnoiter, 2 points for Bodyguard, and then 2 points for the Thwart because I was able to stop him from getting his announced scheme. So it ended up being a very, very close game, finishing 6-5 in favor of Summer and the Gremlins. Really good game, a lot of avoidance on my part, but it's just the way this game goes, the strategy goes. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys soon with another video.